So since our session last week, I've been, doing not as much as I hoped I would, but doing the mantra every day that you gave me. And I do feel a greater sense of personal peace and safety in myself, like inside myself. And I would say my immediate, family and my immediate household, I feel safer. But I do feel really angry about what's happening all around us with the pandemic. And I feel, you can't be angry. I mean, I guess anger isn't always logical. I'm not angry at a virus. I'm angry that I feel like we could be doing so much more about it. So I get really angry, and I sort of reflecting this week about this relationship between anger and sadness, and maybe it was so healing to name, what we did last week, and where you guided me to name the sadness and listen to it and see where it was and listen to it. And but it also made me wonder, like, is sadness a safer thing to feel than anger? And once we could sort of name the sadness and move through that, that I felt this feeling of anger. And maybe that's, I don't know, just sort of wonder.
Okay, great. So take yourself to when you were feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just let yourself feel it. And since you aren't doing this on purpose, consciously, it's as though there's a part of you that's driving this or responsible for it. So let's explore that part. So close your eyes if that helps, and you don't have to, but sometimes that helps. Just close your eyes and invite that part of you, the part that is feeling this anger, outrage, what you were describing. Just invite it into your awareness, and this is a little bit counterintuitive, but thank it for being there. Because this part has something really positive for you, and its intention is positive. When you do that, do you have a sense of gender, or is it a she, a he, or more neutral, like an it, about this part?
I think it's an it.
Okay.
It's not a female energy, but I don't know that it's really a male energy either.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's both.
And when you invite it into your awareness, is there a place in either your body or the space around you where it seems to settle or live?
Yeah, I feel like it's around me. It's like in the back of my neck and my back and around my shoulders,
Uh-huh.
all around me. It's also right here, like inside, kind of a feeling inside right there.
Where? I can't see where it is.
It's sort of right in the solar plexus.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you might want to keep a hand there.
Okay.
Just to be more in touch with that part. So again, thank it, appreciate the part. And now, just go inside and ask this part, what do you want? And then just settle back, let the part speak, and when you get an answer, tell me what it says.
It's angry It wants safety. It wants the world to be safe. It wants the world to be safe and more peaceful.
Okay. Thank this part. Really appreciate it for that response. And now invite it to step into, breathe into what it's like or what it would be like if it were possible. I know this part may not feel it's possible, but if it were possible, step into what it would be like for the world to be safe and more peaceful. That's right. And just fully experience that. Let the part experience that. And now ask the part, when you have that, the world being safe and more peaceful, then what do you want through the world being safe and more peaceful that's even deeper or more important?
Some kind of deep sense of wellness that stretches out beyond our individual selves and is like a true, robust um, peacefulness, wellness are the words I'm hearing. You know, peacefulness, wellness, safety.
Thank the part for that. And invite it to step into that. Breathe into a deep sense of wellness, a true, robust peacefulness. Fully and completely on an ongoing basis. And now ask the part, when you already have that, is there anything you want through a deep sense of wellness, a true, robust peacefulness that's even deeper or more core?
Just to be.
To be. Thank the part. And invite it to step into to be on a deep, ongoing level. Just fill with it, to be. And now ask this part, is there anything you want through to be? that's even deeper or more core. Yeah. So for this part, this is a core state. It's a state of being. It's not a matter of doing or getting or even feeling. It's a state of being. And sometimes our internal parts have this notion that to get to a state of being like this, a core state like to be, you have to go through steps and phases and do this and do that, but that's not very effective a lot of the time. We don't get to experience our core states very much if we go about it that way. And actually this part got there pretty quickly, but sometimes I've seen as outcome change, which is this is called, that go on and on for, which is fine, but to be. So the way to have it is just to step into it, appropriate it, and have it as this part's state of being, as its way of being in the world, as its mode of existence, its fundamental note, to be. So just invite this part just to step into to be as its ongoing state of being. And just enjoy it for a little bit. And ask the part, when you are immersed in this core state to be, how does that change things? Tell me what it says.
Kind of melts a little bit. I'm not getting words, but I'm getting a different feeling from it, which is like softer or sort of melt.
Yeah, the words aren't the important thing. It's that sensation, that sense of how it makes things different, how it changes everything. Now ask the part, let the part just stay in that state of being, to be. And ask the part, when you already have this core state to be, how does that radiate through, transform, enrich a deep sense of wellness, a true, robust peacefulness?
Feeling more than feeling.
Okay, so you're not getting any verbalization here.
Right, not right now.
That's fine. Ask the part, still continually immersed in this wonderful core state to be. Ask the part, how does having to be as your core state of being, how does that radiate through, transform, enrich the world being safe and more peaceful?
Yeah, it's like as the feeling sort of transforms from being destructive energy to being um, more positive.
A little louder. I can't quite hear you.
The feeling, it's like the part that is an angry part. It's feels like it's transforming from this energy of anger, which can be damaging and destructive, um, to give way to an energy that is more positive or constructive.
Mm-hmm. Now, just step into one of those times when you were feeling that outrage, that anger. But now with this part, just totally ensconced in that core state of to be in an ongoing way. And just notice, and you don't have to verbalize, just notice how it's different. And a future time, like one of those in the past when you would have been angry or outraged. But now again with this part, fully immersed in to be. And just notice the difference. Now parts such as this one usually come into being when we're much younger. And they kind of remain at that state, at that age, even though we continue to grow chronologically older. So go inside and ask this part, how old are you? And then just tell me what it says.
30.
Part is 30, yeah. Yeah, it could be much younger than that, but we'll take 30. So all this time, a 30-year-old, a young adult, has been in charge of this whole area of your life. And it's doing the best it can. But it's kind of stuck at that age. So how much more powerful could this part be if it could filled with this core state to be, and then could evolve forward, getting access to everything you've learned, all your experience, all your resources that you've developed ever since age 30, all the way up to your current age. Ask the part, would it like to do that? So you can just invite that part to fill with that core state, to be, at its age of 30, and then evolve forward on an unconscious level, absorbing and transforming all those experiences, everything you've learned, all the resources you've developed at 31, 32, 35, all the way up. And let me know when it reaches your current age. Good. Now where are you experiencing this grown-up part?
I mean, physically,
Mm-hmm. Where is it?
it's sort of around where it was before, but much less intense.
Mm.
It's like less deep and less consistent.
Okay. So now invite the part just to spread, and with it, that core state to be. Just to spread into every aspect of your being, every bone, every muscle, every blood vessel, every neuron, every part of you mentally, physically, spiritually. So that to be becomes and reinforces the previous core state we found. To be becomes your core state of being. Your way of being in the world, your fundamental node, your vibe, if you like. And just fill with that and enjoy it for a little bit. Revel in it. To be. And notice how with to be as your core state, Catherine, everything is different. And how it radiates through, transforms, enriches. A deep sense of wellness, a true, robust peacefulness. And how to be radiates through the world being a safe, more peaceful, even if sometimes it's not. And how with to be as your core state, the whole context of what used to be outrage and anger is transformed. Just sit with that for a few more moments and enjoy it. And now go inside and ask, are there any other parts or aspects of me that are concerned or involved in this issue? And tell me what you find.
Yeah, let sort of move, physically move. So it's more what I'm feeling now is more, it's more in my like abdomen, upper abdomen.
Okay.
Ooh, it's a very different feeling now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's asking me for some kind of ability to coexist with the things that have triggered an anger response. You know, to coexist with those things in a new way.
So welcome this part into your awareness. Because really we're viewing this as a separate, another part. And thank it for being there. Does it feel like an it, or does it have a gender?
It doesn't.
Okay, yeah. And you've already described where this is. It's kind of in your abdomen. Yes.
Like upper rib cage.
Okay. So put a hand there. And thank this part, appreciate it for being there. And go inside and ask this part, what do you want?
It wants to be able to coexist without jumping into anger.
Okay. The freedom to coexist without jumping into anger. Thank, appreciate this part. And now invite it to step into what it's like or what it would be like to have the freedom to coexist without jumping into anger. That's right. Fully and completely. And ask this part, when you have that freedom to coexist without jumping into anger, then what do you want through that that's even deeper or more important?
Just to be.
To be. So let me check. Let's just check to make sure this is really the part's core state. Thank the part. Invite it to step into to be on a deep, ongoing level. And ask the part, is there anything you want through to be that's even deeper or more core? Mm-hmm. So this part also has as its core state to be. And like that other part, the best way to experience that is just to have it, is just to step into it, to appropriate it from the start, from the jump, and just to have it. So invite this part just to fully step into to be as its ongoing state of being, and just enjoy that. And now ask the part, how does having to be as a core state of being, how does that change things?
Feel stronger.
Say it again, please. I didn't quite catch that.
Feel stronger is the word that came to me, like
Okay.
less, I guess more peaceful, you know, it's more of a stronger is the word that's coming, like more solid or more uh, being.
Yeah. So just invite the part, still in a sense, in a state of to be as its core state. How does that radiate through, transform, enrich? Freedom to coexist without jumping into anger.
More centered.
More centered.
Centered, more grounded, more peaceful. Less fragile
Hmm.
or less easily swayed. More rooted.
So now just carry that, let the part carry that core state of to be into a situation, a time in the past when you were feeling, when you might have been feeling that anger or those things that triggered that response. But just notice now how it's different and you don't need to articulate that. And project into a future time that in the past you know you might have been feeling that anger or that feeling triggered in that way, but now with this part just immersed in to be as its state of being. Now go inside and ask this part, how old are you?
I'm not sure why this 30 is coming, but this 30 is coming.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to have to regress you to age 30 and see what went on. In a sense, we're doing that already. So just invite the part at age 30 to fill again with, just to immerse in this core state to be, and then invite it to evolve forward, to grow up all the way to your current age, getting access to and transforming everything you've learned, resources you've developed, all the way up until let me know when it reaches your current age. And now bring the part if any of it's outside of you, just bring it inside and just let it spread along with its core state to be into every aspect of your being. So that to be becomes and reinforces what's already there as your core state of being. Your core state, Catherine. Your way of being in the world on a deep, deep level. Just enjoy that and revel in it. And notice again how with to be as your core state, your fundamental note, everything is different. And how to be radiates through, transforms freedom to coexist without jumping into anger. And the whole context of that, what used to be that anger and those things that triggered it, is transformed through to be as your core state. Now once again, go inside and ask, is there any other part or aspect of me that's involved, concerned with this issue? Tell me what you find. Go inside and ask, is there any objection anywhere within you of to be as your ongoing core state of being from now on? Good. So now, Catherine, I'd like you to envision the timeline of your life, however you do that. Starting from the present, imagine it laid out all the way back to the moment of your conception, the very beginning. And going out and out into the future. And now, just let yourself float up above that timeline, looking down on it, and float back and back until finally you're hovering over the moment of your conception. And now drop down into that moment. Conceived by your parents as a single cell, to be the essential part of your physical and spiritual DNA. And now allow yourself to move along that timeline at whatever rate is comfortable, all through your gestation, your birth, all the way up to the current time, to be radiating out from every cell, every part of you, transforming, changing every experience on an unconscious level, all the way up until until you reach the present. And just no hurry, just let me know when you get there. And now watch yourself as you move out along that future timeline, your core state of being, to be, transforming, informing every interaction, everything you think, do, or say, all the way out, all the way out, years and years, as far as it goes. Just let me know when you're ready to continue. Good. Would you like to go through your timeline like that again? You don't have to. You know how to do it, you can do it yourself. Okay. Well, we're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we'll come back in a few days and find out what's changed.
Thank you. Thank you again. It's very different than anything I've ever experienced before. And, giving a name to sadness and anger, and giving them a place, like they're usually, sadness and anger, most of my life have experienced these things we want to try to avoid, hide from, deny, repress.
Right.
So to name it and see where it is and see what it wants to say, and listen to it, kind of invite it in. So different. It's very empowering, actually.
Yeah, usually we try to suppress these things, especially the ones we don't like, push them down, ignore them. And sometimes that works. And, sometimes that enables us to function when we have to. But there's a certain stiffness to it. There's a certain, I don't know, rigidity or something. So this just works the opposite way. What we're really doing is I think of it as these parts that have split off from us, a lot of times for good reasons. Children, for instance, that dissociate, step out of their bodies as ways of dealing with abuse or bad situations. It's very good reasons for doing that. But then, 40 years later, if you're still doing it, it's not working. So this is another way that these seeming impediments become transformed. I think of them as gateways to some really wonderful states of being.
Thanks again.
So thank you, and we'll reconnect soon.
I look forward to that. Okay. See you later.
Okay, Catherine.